Hola, soy Bárbara, soy comunicadora latinoamericana, vivo en Perú y también soy autista y activista por los derechos de las personas autistas acá en Latinoamérica y en las comunidades online de habla hispana. Este video es para responder a la pregunta que me están haciendo en NeuroClastic sobre cómo me imagino yo un mundo donde el orgullo autista es una realidad, donde las personas autistas no somos discriminadas. Me imagino un mundo donde la gente comprende que somos diferentes y que no porque me vea igual al otro, con dos ojos, una boca, una nariz, dos orejas, significa que en mi mente va a funcionar de la misma manera, igual. Yo me imagino un mundo donde los padres de los niños autistas entienden que sus hijos sienten de una manera diferente y tratan de ayudarlos a manejar, entender y construirse desde el entendimiento de esa forma de sentir y percibir el mundo de una manera diferente, en lugar de tratar de imponerles su forma de ver el mundo y pretender que pueden hacer que sus hijos sientan de la manera que ellos sienten. Imagino un mundo con niños más acogidos, respetados y validados para tener adultos más acogidos, validados, respetados y plenos. Me imagino un mundo donde las personas autistas no necesitan pelear para ser escuchados, no necesitan llorar para ser validadas sus emociones. Me imagino un mundo donde la gente comprende que la manera de percibir el mundo de una manera diferente, que sentir el mundo de una manera diferente, que procesar las emociones de una manera diferente, tiene un gran valor. Aumenta las posibilidades de los equipos, de las comunidades, de los colectivos, de tener perspectivas novedosas, diferentes, grandiosas, y le permite a la humanidad con su conjunto desarrollarse hacia un ideal que creo que todos tenemos, que es el de una humanidad que contempla a todos. Me imagino un mundo donde en las escuelas los maestros les enseñan a sus alumnos el valor de la neurodiversidad. Juancito, que tiene un sistema de un procesamiento cinético, aporta esto a esta tarea grupal. Bárbara, que tiene un procesamiento autista, aporta esto a esta dinámica grupal. Lucía, que tiene un procesamiento neurotípico, aporta esto a esta dinámica grupal. Y por eso nuestro trabajo es más pleno, más completo, más incluyente, donde todos están contemplados y donde nadie es dejado fuera. Me imagino un mundo donde las personas autistas no tenemos que enmascarar para poder acceder a derechos básicos como el trabajo, como la educación, como que te quieran tus padres. Me imagino un mundo donde cuando se te acaban las cucharitas y ya no tienes energía para enmascarar, las personas te contienen en lugar de recriminarte. Me imagino un mundo donde todos, o del que todos podamos ser parte. Hay que trabajar en él. Un beso. Chao, chao.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Abad Siddiqui. I am an autistic person. First of all, I would like to proffer my gratitude towards Ms. Tara Saik, who has been so kind to offer me with this opportunity in order to express my viewpoint regarding what is the type of autistic community, I would like to recite it as well as what we can as a whole do in order to make it more inclusive as well as accommodating. While I do not believe that there is any definite or conclusive way I can provide any reply to the question beforehand, I will try to summarize as much as I can within the limited time frame I have been allotted. I believe that the type of autistic community I would like to live in is one which is inclusive, accommodating, and one in which I am provided a space in which I feel safe, comfortable, and secure, and to be and express myself. The type of autistic community I would like to live in is one in which I feel it would that I do not have to conform to any particular standard in order to fit in. It is a type of community in which I can feel that I can respectfully agree as well as disagree with other individuals without it becoming, without such discussions turning into arguments. An autistic community I would like to live in is one which adopts the type of attitudes we would also like to see in others. I believe it is always necessary to keep in mind that autism lies on a spectrum. I lie on the so called high functioning end of the autism spectrum. But I do realize my experiences might differ from a number of people on the spectrum other than me. People can and are allowed to differ from each other, and I believe the same holds for autistic individuals as well. And then gender people is something we all have to keep in mind if we truly want to include and be compassionate towards the autistic community as a whole. I the type of I believe that we as a community need to provide a very compassionate, empathetic, inclusive and understanding space for ourselves as well as for others as well. We need to provide a safe and secure place in which we can feel comfortable and not threatened and can develop amicable relationships with each other. We need to divert from misunderstandings and misconceptions that surround autistic individuals and our community as a whole. For instance, conceptions such as those which I have also encountered in subtle forms, such as asking for accommodations about tantamount, asking for special treatment, which could not be further from the truth, or you do not look autistic, or we just not take into account something which I also mentioned earlier in a prior part of the video, which is that autism is a spectrum based condition. We need to make space for each and every type of autistic individual, including those with comorbidities. A comorbidity could be a condition which can co-occur with a main condition. If I am to attempt to explain it in very succinct terms, for instance, ADHD, Tourette syndrome, and more can be considered as some of the possible comorbidities of autism. Okay, chatter people, I guess my 5 minutes are up. Again, I would like to offer my gratitude towards Ms. Shahra for providing me with such a generous opportunity. I hope this at least serves as an introduction to at least some of the beliefs I personally hold regarding how we can make a more and more inclusive and accommodating autistic community. Thank you very much.
What would an autistic community that you can be proud of look like? SOMETHing like I can. G-O-T-O, I can go to. S-C-H-O-O-L, I can go to school. A-N-D, and T. I-P-E in type. L-I-K-E, like. T-H-I-S. Type like this. Okay. Tell me a little more if you can. I-W-A-N-T, I want to. S-P-E-L-L, I want to spell. L-I-K-E, like. I want to spell like this. I-N-S-C-H-O-O-L, in school. A-N-D, and. S-T-I-L-L, and still. B-E-A-C C-E-E-T-E-G, and still be accepted. Okay. I-D-O-N-T, I don't. W-A-N-T, I don't want. T-O-B-E-B, I don't want to be. J-U-D-G-E-D, I don't want to be judged. A-N-D, T-H-O-U-H-T, and thought. Okay. Thought. O. F. In thought. O. As. F. E. S. S. E. R. I don't want to be thought of as lesser.
Wow, the autistic community that I would be proud of.
Next year, wait. Home. Oh, thank you. Next January, home. Next January. I'll see you next January. I'm sorry, I feel bad. Yeah, see you, mate. Go home next January. Done. I'm back, please. Done. I will go home. Bye next January. Hey, done. Oh, yeah.
Okay, last word. F.
They get it back. Get it back. Sure, get it back.
E.
Get it back.
N-G. I love that. Can I read the whole?
Give it back.
Can I read the whole?
Get it back.
Can I read you the whole when we finished? The autistic community that I would be proud of. My LGBTQ friends and allies would always feel safe and included. Everyone would have a friend. Everyone could be themselves, and everyone else could stop staring.
I stopped them.
Happy Pride.
Thank you.
Can you say Happy
Happy
Pride?
Pride.
Happy Pride.
Thank you.
A community that I would be proud of is a community where everyone has a voice. Everyone has a say. Everyone can aspire to be the best person that they can be with the accommodations that they need at that specific time. A community that I would be proud of helps each other, lifts each other up, and doesn't punch people down. A community that I aspire to have is a community where curiosity, fairness, understanding, they're not unique aspects. There's something that drives us forward to be better, to be more understanding, to carry on not just for myself, but for future generations of people that are on the spectrum. That's the type of community I hope that my writing and my speaking and my streaming can make one day. It's a community that I want to see, not just for myself, but for my friends and maybe my future family members who will also be on the spectrum as well. A community that I would be proud of is a community where I can feel like I've made a difference, where I said something and we did better. I did better. Well, we all do better. And that's the community that I would be proud of. Community I would be proud of is everyone could get, people on the spectrum could get what they need and not feel like they were being held back. Where they could speak their truth and know that other people around the world could hear them. Where they could focus on what they cared about and not have to worry about rent or food or being able to obtain medical assistance or any of the other numerous things that people on the spectrum like us need. That there's a platform and that we all have a voice to be able to share and speak as individuals, to bring forth an understanding that maybe I haven't thought of, but that another person in my community could think of that could make us out to be better people. So, the community that I would be proud of is a community where we are all heard. We can all stand together. We are all aware that this is our one planet and we are one race. And we all have to work together to be better.
Hi, my name is Shaquana, aka Genesis, my name sign. Nice to meet you all. I'm here today to talk about some of my autistic experiences. Yes, that's right, I have autism and other disabilities. I'm here to answer some questions about what it's like having autism for me. Um, yeah, that's kind of hard for me to talk about because I didn't find out that I had autism until I was an adult. I found out that I had autism in 2015, but my mom got me tested for it when I was 3 years old. So I understand that a lot of people, um, women really, have a hard time getting a diagnosis of autism, and a lot of people of color or black people really have a hard time. We often get misdiagnosed all the time. Um, I have a lot of other disabilities, and it took a long time to get um, one diagnosis. So I understand that. Um, First question. Sorry if I'm looking down a lot. I'm reading them off of my phone. Um, First question. What's your name? My preferred name is Genesis. Um, what are things that you like? Um, I like to draw, read, watch TV, play video games, rest. Next question. What are your goals in the future? I want to model, maybe become a model for people with disabilities. I want to show people in the world that it doesn't matter if you're different, if you're different, you look different, or have disabilities, that you can do anything that you want. That's what I want to show the world, that if I can, you can too. Um, I think I'm cute, right? I could model. Maybe, right? Next question. Um, what does autistic mean to me? Uh, Me being autistic, uh, it just means normalcy. That's my normal. I was never treated like I had autism, so that just means me being myself. Um, what are things that you don't like about your autism experiences? Um, I don't like that I take everything seriously. I think about things seriously. Um, it's hard for me to understand people's different emotions or expressions. Um, and sarcasm is hard for me to understand. I'm really sarcastic, but with other people, it's hard for me to know if they're playing or being serious. That's hard. I hate that. I don't like it. I don't like that I'm overly emotional. I cry all the time, especially if I think that someone is mad with me. Cry. Um, I'm working on that. Next question. What is the autistic community like for me? What is it like? What is it like to be around other autistics? That's a hard question because I don't know anyone with autism or other disabilities. I've never met someone with it. I don't leave my house a lot, so I don't meet a lot of people. Um, I've met autistic people on the internet, online, but never in person. So I don't know how to answer that question, but I think it would be awesome to meet someone. Um, Next question. Is there a way that you would like to see the autistic community become better? Yes. I think all the communities need to come together to make the disability and autistic communities better. A lot of white people, white doctors, treat people of color and black people like we don't get sick or have problems. I I want to see the stigma erased, like gone. Um, it it takes a long time to get a right diagnosis of autism for people of color or other disabilities. Black women often don't get believed when they talk about pain or heart problems. I have heart failure and I've had 3 different experiences where I go to the ER, to the hospital, and the doctors don't believe what I'm saying until they see the tests. So it's hard. I want to see that erased and for other people to understand that black and people of color have disabilities and it's okay to help them. That's what I want to see. Next question. Anything that I want other people to understand about me? I'm not a scary person. I'm funny. I'm silly. I like to joke around and play games. Me and other disabled or autistic people, we're fun. It just takes some time to understand what we need. If we are having a bad day or crying or whatever, just take time to think. If we are going somewhere, is it accessible? We need accessibility and access to communication. That's all. Um, I'm deaf. I'm hard of hearing becoming deaf. I need communication. I use a wheelchair and a walker. I need to know where we're going is accessible for those things. It just takes a few minutes to understand what is needed in the situation. That's all. Communication and access. That's what people in the world need to understand, that that will make the world easier, better for disabled and autistic people. You know, the sensory part too. Loud noises, blinking lights. Is it bright or is it dark? Is it loud? Is it calm? Think about that when inviting someone to go somewhere with you. Access and communication. That's all. Okay, I think I'm finished answering the questions. I hope you enjoyed my video and I hope to talk soon. Okay, see you later. Bye.
Llevo varios años soñando con un orgullo autista en que la comunidad hispanohablante esté plenamente representada. Esto viene pasando hace muy poco y aún falta mucho, porque las personas autistas hispanohablantes llevamos una desventaja con respecto a las personas autistas en países de habla inglesa. Aquí los profesionales están muy lejos de entender el autismo, y quienes se consideran expertos no lo son en gran medida. No escuchan a las personas autistas, hablan de neurodiversidad sin saber de neurodiversidad y asustando a las familias a acercarse a la comunidad autista, y eso es muy doloroso. Hoy profesionales de salud mental le dicen a las familias que tienen que no entenderle los lenguajes no orales a sus hijos para que se esfuercen por hablar. Y eso me da una profunda tristeza, porque niegan a sus hijos comunicación durante años sin comunicación, para que se esfuercen en hablar de maneras normativas. Por eso mismo, acá muy poco ha llegado de sistemas de comunicación alternativa, muy poco. Y la mayoría de familias no saben ni qué es una opción ni qué beneficios tiene. Se sabe un poco más de sensorialidad, pero lo básico. Hoy acceder a un profesional de salud ocupacional que tenga conocimientos de temas sensoriales es muy costoso y muy difícil. No está cubierto por ningún tipo de seguro. Hoy, hace unos pocos meses, una amiga me decía, no, la terapeuta ocupacional le acaba de decir a mi hijo, este no es un lugar para jugar, siéntate y trabaja. Una profesional que debe saber de la necesidad de movimiento de una persona y de cómo es un apoyo para el aprendizaje. Y eso no pasa. Y eso son personas que al menos han tenido acceso a un diagnóstico. La mayoría de personas autistas aún no tienen acceso a ningún tipo de diagnóstico. Pasan su vida sin tener idea de que existe una comunidad autista, de que no necesitan simular normalidad. Y eso es muy triste. A mí lo que me ha nutrido, lo que me ha brindado la comunidad autista ha sido incalculable. Por eso quiero compartir con otras personas autistas todo lo que la comunidad autista me ha permitido nutrirme, me ha permitido conocer cómo soy de mis maneras autistas, que no están mal, sino que son las que me permiten ser yo y ser la mejor versión de mí, no esa persona que estaba siempre tratando de simular perfección y normalidad. Y no quiero que nadie tenga que seguir simulando para ser aceptado.